Look at this little square of paper. It is one of the most successful, most recognizable, and most profitable inventions of the 20th century. It's an icon of office life, a symbol of a quick thought, the physical form of a reminder. It is so simple, it feels like it must have existed forever. But what if I told you it was a complete and utter failure? That the glue that makes it work, the very heart of its genius, was a scientific mistake. An invention so useless it was shelved for 5 years. A solution desperately searching for a problem. This is the story of a happy accident, a frustrated choir singer, and how a failed superglue accidentally conquered the world. The year is 1968. The world is obsessed with power, with strength, with reaching for the heavens. It's the height of the space race, and at the corporate labs of 3M, a company famous for its adhesives, the mission was clear: create stronger, tougher, better glues. And that was the task given to a research chemist named Dr. Spencer Silver. He was trying to create an incredibly powerful adhesive for the aerospace industry, something strong enough to build airplanes with. The goal was an unbreakable bond. He was working with a class of chemicals called acrylate copolymers, mixing them in new ways, trying to forge the ultimate glue. And one day, he created the exact opposite. Instead of a powerful bonding agent, he had created something bizarre. A glue that barely worked. It was sticky, sure. You could press it onto a surface, but then you could peel it right off with almost no effort, and it wouldn't leave a residue. You could do it over and over and over again. Under a microscope, Silver discovered his mistake. He hadn't created a uniform, powerful adhesive. He had accidentally created microscopic, sticky spheres. Think of them like tiny, tacky rubber balls. Only some of the spheres would touch the surface at any one time, which is why the bond was so weak. But the spheres themselves were incredibly tough. They wouldn't break or dissolve. They were perfectly and uselessly reusable. It was a scientific failure. It was weak, not strong. It was temporary, not permanent. It was a solution without a problem. But Spencer Silver was fascinated by his failure. For the next 5 years, he became an internal evangelist for his weird glue. He would go from department to department at 3M, showing it to anyone who would listen. He would stick a piece of paper to his colleague's nose, then peel it off, leaving no mark. He gave seminars. He called it a solution in search of a problem. Nobody was interested. The invention was a curiosity, a gimmick. It was shelved. And that's where the story should have ended. But halfway across the 3 meters campus, another scientist was getting very, very frustrated. His name was Art Fry. He was a chemical engineer in 3M's tape division. And on Sundays, he sang in his church choir. And every Sunday, he had the same small but infuriating problem. He would use little slips of paper to mark the hymns in his hymnal. But every time he stood up to sing, the little pieces of paper would flutter to the floor. He'd lose his place. He tried taping the bookmarks in, but the tape would damage the delicate pages. He tried folding the corners, but he could never find the right verse. It was a tiny, recurring moment of chaos in an otherwise orderly life. And then one Sunday, standing in the choir loft, frustrated once again, he had a thought. A memory of a seminar he had attended years earlier. A seminar by that strange chemist, Spencer Silver, the one who was so excited about his useless, low-tack, repositionable glue. And in a flash of insight, the two halves of the puzzle slammed together. Art Fry didn't need a bookmark that stayed in place. He needed a bookmark that stuck in place, but only a little. A bookmark he could peel off without damaging the page, and then use again for the next hymn. He didn't need a super strong adhesive. He needed a super weak one. He had just found the problem for Spencer Silver's solution. The next morning, Fry went into the lab. He got a sample of Silver's useless adhesive, coated one edge of a piece of yellow scrap paper, and tried it in a book. It was perfect. It stuck. It peeled off. It re-stuck. He started using them for his own notes, sticking them onto reports to ask questions. And he noticed his colleagues were stealing them off his desk. He had a feeling he was onto something. But when he took the idea to his bosses, they were skeptical. The marketing department was even worse. They did a market survey, and it was a total failure. People didn't get it. "Why would I pay for a piece of scrap paper with a little bit of glue on it?" they asked. The project was on the verge of being canceled, but the team believed in it. They decided on a radical, last-ditch strategy. They couldn't tell people why they needed it. They had to show them. They launched what became known as the Boise Blitz. They chose one city, Boise, Idaho, and they flooded every office in the city with free samples. They gave pads to secretaries, to managers, to everyone. And then they waited. The response was an explosion. Once people had the pads on their desks, once they experienced the simple, satisfying magic of sticking, peeling, and resticking, they couldn't live without them. The reorder rate from the test market was over 90%. The Post-it note was born. It was launched nationally in 1980, and it became one of the most successful office products in history. Billions are now sold every year in hundreds of sizes and colors in more than 150 countries. The story of the Post-it note isn't just a story about a piece of paper and some glue. It's a story about the strange, unpredictable, and beautiful path of innovation. It required two very different kinds of genius. It needed Spencer Silver, the curious scientist who saw value in a mistake and who refused to let his useless invention die. And it needed Art Fry, the practical problem solver who had the insight to connect a solution from his work life to a problem from his personal life. It's a powerful reminder that the greatest breakthroughs are often not a straight line. They are a messy, serendipitous collision of a problem and a solution that were never meant to meet. It's a testament to the power of happy accidents and the idea that sometimes the most valuable invention is the one that everyone else thinks is a mistake. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more amazing tales of innovation. See you in the next one.